Hello, everybody. It's kind of late tonight, but that's okay. I was actually quite frustrated just earlier because can't log into my Verizon account. I went to the store for the second time, but that's a whole other story. So, tonight is part two of the self doubt. And we often think that self doubt is something that comes over us, like it's kind of just washes over us and there's nothing we can do, right? What if it's something that we, hi Miley, what if it's something that we create in our mind? Could that be, right? Because as I've mentioned before, our brain wants us to be efficient. That means it wants to stay in old patterns, right? Like getting upset at not getting into the Verizon website and being mad at that my life is built on passwords. I'm trying hard to get those organized. Anyway, the brain wants to be efficient even if it's negative results. And let that sink in. For example, let's say you know somebody in your life who gets whiny or angry at like a lot, and that could be just because the brain knows, hey, I get like a cortisol hit or something when I'm mad, so this is efficient, so I'm going to keep doing this, and when there's nothing to be mad about, I'm going to create something to be mad about, right? But it's a whole other thing that's not about self-doubt. I'm just explaining that the brain wants to stay efficient no matter what. We just have to train it to be efficient in the things that serve us, right? So as I'm learning, the ability to grow is limited by my self-doubt. Believe me, I have it. Right? So where do you want to grow? Right? Maybe it's lose weight. I tried to do a survey on my site. Some said they want better health this year, right? There's tons of health coaches out there that you could find help with, or even just get a good book or a trainer, right? Maybe it's better relationships. That's something you want to grow in. You want to be more active. You want to grow your business, right? So I want to read a quote. This is all from Brooke Castillo's book that I'm reading, right? This is not for me. I'm stealing all of it. So she says, let me read it. We are capable of the things we're willing to repeatedly try until we increase our capacity to do them. Let me read that again. We are capable of the things we are willing to repeatedly try until we increase our capacity to do them. Right? Kind of makes sense, right? So when we get frustrated with something, right? How many things have you tried with it? Was it 2 things? How many times did you repeatedly try until you increased your capacity? Was it 5 times? 10, 50? Are we willing to try it 10, 20, 50 times until we figured it out? Right? We want to give up because it's too hard. I'm going to try some new things this year. And it's going to be hard, and my brain's going to say, nope, it's not going to work. So I need to do what I'm preaching. So how many times have you tried before you decided it's not working, right? What I encourage you to do when you coach with me is we find what is working, and sometimes often you really need somebody else to point that out. That's why I have a coaching group, and they tell me, hey, you find what's working, find what's not working, and constantly evaluate, right? So what if what we're doing is working? We just didn't get to see the results yet. For example, you can all picture the seed going into the ground, and there's no way you can see that there's a whole tree in that seed, right? It takes years, or let's say a flower, right? You put bulb in and it becomes a flower. It doesn't take that long, just a few months. But you need to believe that it's working, right? Everything in that bulb is there to make it work. And I just heard this morning on a podcast where somebody was like very depressed and in a hospital, and Nobody had ever diagnosed her, but the doctor said this is for this illness and this is for your depression. And she's like, ooh. And she took it for a long time, I think. But she started with a gratitude journal. And she didn't realize how much that gratitude journal changed her life until she was at a point where she was feeling good. And she was like, what happened here, right? And she could trace it back to the habit, right, of writing things that she was grateful for every day, like forcing herself to be grateful. So we don't see that right away, the effect of gratitude. You just have to give it time, right? Same with saving, right? You don't see that in a year you'll have so much of your debt paid off, or you have saved up enough to buy what you wanted to buy. It just takes time, and you don't see it right away. So don't give up. Same with workouts. You go to the gym, you work out for a week, a month, you don't really see a big change in your muscles. It takes time, right? Working out your muscles takes time to see a difference, to feel a difference. You might actually feel miserable and achy and all that negative stuff. So the trick is not to give up, right? So the little things done over and over and over can increase and better a relationship, right? The more I listen to my children, the more I have a better relationship with them. But it takes time, right? I had to change a lot of things in my parenting. A silly example, when you floss, right? I need to keep flossing my teeth, not the dance, the flossing your teeth. And it reduces the infection in your gums, right? Talking to myself. So I'm there with you because I feel the self-doubt when it comes to growing my business, right? I have accomplished some things in my life, but that I haven't done yet. I have come so far, but I haven't grown it to a point where I want it to be. So that's all new, and my brain will tell me, doubt, you can't do it. So I'm there with you. I'm on that journey with you, okay? I hope this is not going too long. I want to go a little faster. So the next step is what? So we have all these self-doubts. We have said that when we set a goal, we have self-doubts, and they are just a story we make up in our mind, right? They're not necessarily true. In that, when we keep at it, how often are we willing to try to keep trying, so we see a better result, right? So the next step would be to increase our confidence, and that is a choice. And I loved when I learned that it is a choice. It's not something that some people have and some people don't. It's something that you can learn. And that was like, yeah, I want some of that, right? So you can learn to increase your confidence. For example, it was Tuesday. I was at a networking event and I was presenting about what I do, my business, and who I am. And I had my notes. I had it all on these big, flat boards, like not a dry erase board, the one with the real paper and a real marker. I had all my notes written out. But before the meeting started, an older lady came to me, and I felt a really warm connection right away. And she said, oh, people just want bullet points. They can't take more than 3 points anyway, and they just want to learn more about you. And I'm like, but my notes are over there, and they're there for me, not for you. So I made a decision at that moment to leave that in the corner and speak without notes. And that was a little scary, but I spoke about myself and how I got into coaching, and a little bit about my oldest son, Jesse, and how heartbreaking that story was. And it was scary, but I did it, right? So I increased my confidence that I can speak without notes by doing it. And I had to be willing to fail and to suck at it, right? Ended up people liked it, actually. So the next step is, let me see, maybe I have to do another live with these. Let me just give you those very quickly, and then we can sum it up. Okay, so number one is to think about something you want, right? And your self-doubt will tell you that your doubt is real, your doubt is true, right? But you just it tells you that you're just being realistic, right? But is that really true? So question that, right? So what is it that you want? Is it, some people want to become pregnant, they want to grow their business, they want to lose weight, they want to have a better relationship, and your thoughts will be, I've never done this before, I can't do it. So number 2 is to write those thoughts down that come up. Write them down. They're just thoughts, right? They're not necessarily true. That's just what your brain wants to tell you is true. Write down every single thought. And I was just thinking while I was preparing for this, what about the people that broke world records? Nobody had ever done that, right? Nobody had ever done that before. So how did they get there? That's another story. But just think about it. Had never been done before. So write down every single thought. Number 3 is, what is your response to those thoughts of self-doubt? What are your feelings and actions resulting from those thoughts? And that's something I really like to do in one-on-one coaching, and we get really deep into that. But just for yourself, write down, what are your thoughts? What is your response to those thoughts, your feelings, and your actions? Sometimes it's with self-sabotage, right? Especially when feelings come up like discouragement or doubt, right? Nobody's gonna keep trying 50 more times, right? You're gonna stop yourself in the tracks. So maybe your action is an inaction, very likely, right? So the 4th thing is, decide not to believe those negative thoughts. My doggy is making funny noises. You hear it? So decide not to believe those negative thoughts. The thoughts, right? They decide if you want to continue to believe them or not. You have the power to decide if you want to believe those thoughts or not. Okay? It's really in your power. You can do that. It's a choice. It's a choice. Do you want to believe that you can't have a better relationship with your child? Right? That's what your belief will be. Do you believe that you can't have a better relationship with your partner? That you can't get a new job? That you cannot have friends? That you can't work out and lose weight? Any of those, right, come up in my coaching, my own life. It often doesn't feel like a choice. It feels so true. So if we have a feeling of not being capable of achieving what we want to achieve, right, the not feeling capable, I've felt that many times, right, that's me, then what do I want to think about that, right? Again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and the feelings come with the thoughts. So number 5 is, decide what to believe about yourself. I'm sure books have been written about that. What do you believe about yourself? What is your opinion? Hi, puppy. What is your opinion of yourself? What is your opinion of your dreams? And if you want to come to one of my vision board workshops, come put your dreams on paper. We have fun doing that. So decide what you want to believe about yourself, not what others say about you, what you want to believe about yourself, right? And if you're faith-based, what does God think about you? Right? I think he's crazy about you. Let me see, was that the last step? Yes. So what are you going to choose to tell your mind to think about it? What are you going to choose to tell your mind? Because you tell your mind what to do. Your mind listens. Do you know that? Your mind listens to what you tell it to do. That's programmed. That's beautiful. I think how God made that is beautiful. It just happens that we tell our mind a lot of lies and a lot of negative things, right? So we just need to reprogram. So what are you going to choose to tell your mind to think about, right? So I just want to wrap this up. And if there's questions, please, please, please leave a comment. If you liked what you heard, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, tag a friend if they could benefit from this. I would love if you could share that with a friend. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave you with obstacles can turn into opportunities to grow. And again, that's a shift of mindset, if I look at an obstacle, I could see it as an opportunity to grow. And believe me, I hate it when I was told that because an obstacle doesn't feel good. But it can absolutely be an opportunity to grow. Okay? Any questions? Post them below. Thank you for listening, Miley. And again, tag a friend if they could benefit from this. And let me know what else you would like to hear about. Okay? If not, it's just going to be whatever I read in the morning and whatever I feel passionate about that day. That's going to be the topic. So I'll see you next time. Okay? Bye, friends. Love you.